What's up, my Trinbago Vibe peeps? Welcome to a special edition Trinbago Vibes. On this episode, it's tips in drone flying right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm joined by fellow drone enthusiasts on this one. Now there are timestamps below if you want to jump ahead to different parts of this video. So yeah, so this is a good one, especially if you're a first-time drone flyer. Wow, doing this pick up strong here. First-time drone flyer, or you're bringing a drone here in Trinidad. You'll find out about registration with the Civil Aviation Authority, CAA for short, and you'll get some tips in flying right here in the country. Let's jump into it. Trinbago Vibes. So right now I'm at the Blanchisseus Spring Bridge. So basically the North Coast Road at the end is where you come to the end of the paved road, and after this is basically that dirt road. It goes down further down. The road goes down further down. Have a nice Marian River right there. And this was the reason why I say let me kick it off here, because this was one of the first spots I actually crashed my drone right on that tree there. That tree there, I was flying. I underestimated the level of the height of the trees, and I was trying to get the bridge to pan across, and then boom, it crashed. Good thing for the Find My Drone in the DJI app and the durability of their drones, because to this day it continues to fly. I had to make some adjustments, of course, and we'll get to that later on. Now let's kick this off with tip 1. I'm in Skinner Park in San Fernando, and it's an open field, midday, not much people around, not much obstructions unless you're close to the trees. So this is where you get familiar with your drone. If you now got one, get familiar with the controls, fly it at a moderate height, and then when you get comfortable with the controls, then you go a little higher, play around with it on an open field, not in a no-fly zone or NFZ for short, because you don't want to cause any problems in those areas. So get familiar with your controls. With the right of the control, moving left, flying back, coming forward, the up elevation or altitude, the down movement or descent, turning your drone. And once you are familiar with your controls, you'll be able to fly properly, and it'll make flying much easier and smoother in other parts of the country. But always practice, practice, practice. Practice makes permanent. Now let's move on to tip 2, registration. I just came off our webinar from registration. This is part of the process of registration. So in this part of this section, we are going to jump into how to register your drone. Now, you may be wondering, Jeev, why registration? Well, for drones above 750 grams, it is the law to register your drone. Yes, this, as you can see, this is less. This is a DJI Maverick Mini. It is less than 750 grams. So it's fall under category 1, and technically you don't have to register it. But there are 2 reasons why it is you should register your drone, regardless if it's a category 1, such as this. And that's 1, for this purpose, to show you how easy registration is, and it'll give me an ease up when I'm applying to fly or capture stuff in some certain no-fly zones, you know, to get permissions. And 2, it saves me the hassle of having to explain or pull up the regulations to show that I could fly this drone. I don't need no license. I don't need to have a pilot license, at least here in Trinidad and Tobago, to fly this, right? In case I get into trouble with any of the authorities. Now, registration is simple. All you have to do is send an email to drones@caa.gov.tt. Subject: drone registration. Simple. Good day. A few minutes later, kind regards, retrieve, and you hit send. So once you send that email, within a day or 2, you will get a return email or a call from the Civil Aviation of Trinidad and Tobago Drone Department stating that they'll receive your email and they invite you to a webinar. And the webinar is about an hour and a half, because you have a presentation to go through, and then there's questions and answers after. The presentation is about an hour, and questions and answers, well, it could vary. So it will happen 9 a.m. on a morning during the week. Just make note of that. 9 a.m. all the webinars is be 9 a.m. during the week. So take some time off if you need to attend this, because trust me, it is very informative, very informative. Once you attend that webinar, You'll then get an documentation, a PDF documentation to fill out and submit. And once you fulfill all the requirements of that document, then boom, you are registered. So this is my 5 main takeaways from this presentation from the Civil Aviation Authority. Wealth of information, guys. Highly recommend you register your drone. Right. Number 1, Civil Aviation Authority owns all the airspace over Trinidad and Tobago, and the airspace here is a bit different from anywhere else in the world in terms of gravitational fluctuations and whatnot. We'll get more into that later in this video. 2, and this is very important. Now, if your drone flies away for whatever reason, or you crash it in a spot that you cannot retrieve it, you have to immediately call and inform the control towers at the airport. Piaco International Airport if it's in Trinidad, and ANR Robinson if it's in Tobago. I'll leave the numbers in the description below. 3, now if you are flying and you hear like a helicopter or airplane or something flying or coming in your direction, you are to land your drone immediately regardless of where you are flying and how far you are flying, because according to the CAA, Civil Aviation Authority, all manned aircraft has precedence over the airspace over any unmanned aircraft, and you don't want to cause a situation where your drone will cause confusion for them up there. It's a safety thing, so immediately land your drone until it passes over. So 4 and 5 is some upcoming stuff from the CAA. In the upcoming months, they are going to be introducing something they call a geofence, which you can think about it as a digital barrier or a perimeter around an area that once your drone enters it, it basically does something to the drone, whether you lose connection, whether you crash and land or whatnot. So that is in essence what a geofence does. Most likely this will be in the prohibited and the really restricted no-fly zones, such as around the airports and certain national security institutes. So be wary of that. They will be updating their site hopefully and informing us when this is implemented, as well as they will also be upgrading their no-fly zones. Certain ones they may shrink, others they might expand, and of course once they're implemented, I will do a follow-up video on this. So hit that subscribe button, like this video to get more information, and plus you get to see everything else Trinidad and Tobago. Alright, let's head on back on the outside. Woo! Now, it's always good to have a plan, like before you go and execute a job, or before you go and fly. Even this is the first time you go in there, or if you scouted before, it's always good to go there and have an idea of how you want to fly and what you want to capture before you send it in the air, because drone battery life is not all that great, so you want to take advantage of every possible moment you have up in the air. Speaking of drone life and drone batteries and hardwares and stuff, let's jump to Just Barran. Take it away.
Hello, good day. My name is Christian Barran from Just Barran YouTube, and this is my drone. Now, before takeoff, there's a couple of things I like to do with my pre-flight checklist with regards to the hardware of my drone. One of the first things to check is the batteries. And when I mean batteries, I mean the batteries that are going to go inside of the drone and the batteries that are going to be in your controller. This goes for any drone, whether it be DJI or a DIY drone. Now, it's important that you do not use any batteries that are swollen. You want to make sure that your batteries are always basically very nice and clean. And DJI, you can tell when there's a swelling. And if you're not using one of those DJI batteries and you're using one of these lipo cells, it's always good to pick up one of these lipo checkers just to check before takeoff that your batteries are good. If you're using a DJI or another third-party drone, there's that little button on top to press to make sure that those batteries are full before takeoff. It's always important to get one of these lipo-safe bags for when you're transporting and storing your lipo batteries for your drone, and this goes for before and after flying, right? Now, with regards to your drone itself, it's always good to make sure and do a visual check of your drone. Look out for anything that may look unusual or anything that may compromise the drone in flight. What I like to do before installing my propellers is actually just visually check my propellers and make sure that it has no significant damage or nicks that may look like it can be compromised in flight. And when I install them, I make sure that they are at the correct orientation, right? Most drones will have, at least quadcopters will have counterclockwise and clockwise, and there will normally be an indicator on the drone, whether it be a matching color or an arrow to indicate which orientation goes where. And it's always important to just make sure that those propellers are nice and tight before taking off, right? Now it's always good to also put on your drone and your controller before the propellers, and just making sure that your transmitter and receiver are linked. Now, if you are like me and I have an actual display that is going to show me my FPV feed, make sure that that is also fully charged. If you are one of those people that use DJI or any product that requires your phone to be connected to the controller to have that FPV feed, it's important to make sure that your phone is also fully charged. And the last thing is to make sure and check that memory card in your drone. The last thing you want is to be out flying and realize that you forgot to put your memory card in, or that your memory card is too full. And have to format your memory card in the event it has important data on it on the field, just to get that shot that you want. So again, it's always important to double check your memory card and make sure that it's inside your drone before flying. With that being said, happy and safe flying.
That's some pretty good tips from Just Barran. I'll leave his link in the description below. Check out his YouTube channel. He does more tech videos. He has battery life, an SD card, and well, of course, checking your hardware on the drone. Very critical before you send up something up there. All that is part of your pre-flight checks. All right, now you're out there. You don't check everything. Everything seems good. Do you know there are a few apps that can assist you and tell you how good the weather is in the particular area you're planning to fly? And with that, I've help from Jeremy Bridgenath. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Jeremy and I'm a photographer and fellow drone enthusiast, and in this section of the video we're going to share with you some apps that you can use to fly your drone safely, and it's quite interesting. It's really simple to use and we'll provide links for them in the description. Let's check them out. So here we have the apps that I would often use before I take my drone to the skies. So what I've done is I've created a folder and I've put the apps in order of the checks that I would like to do before I end up in the DJI app. So we have Space Weather Live first of all, and what this does is it tells you the KP index, and basically the higher that number is, the higher the likelihood of GPS interference you would get. Then we have UAV Forecast as well as Dronecast. I use these apps together. They give you no-fly zones for particular areas, and it works in Trinidad also. It gives you gusts, wind speed, also at different elevations. So it's pretty helpful to know wind speed and gusts, because it could prevent flyaways and odd behaviors the higher you go. And finally, Eye Auditor. This one is really important because you can create your checklist, you can save them, you can use them multiple times, and input all the data from the previous apps that we would have opened. And finally, the DJI Go app, or in my case the Go 4 app, where we do the final checks and we are ready to have some fun. So this is just a brief rundown. We didn't have time to go into all the details. Maybe if you want, we could do a follow-up with these. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, that's pretty good information, guys, and some useful apps from Jeremy. Nice one, Jeremy. Now let's move on to drone awareness while flying. You must be aware of power lines, trees, and even birds during their nesting period. Trust me, they will attack your drone without hesitation. Yeah, speaking from experience here. Also, avoid flying in reverse if you can't physically see your drone. So hope you enjoyed this. I'd like to thank Just Barran. I'd like to thank Jeremy for all taking part in this collab, for giving you tips in drone flying here in Trinidad and Tobago. Please apply them if you haven't already. I'll leave their links in the description below. Check out their YouTube channel, guys. Show them some support. Always a wealth of information. And if you have any more tips, let me know in the comments below. We're all here to learn and to make the place a little better for everybody here. But please do not fly in the no-fly zones unless you have permission or go through the proper channels to get said permission to fly there. Because you don't want any kind of bacchanal happening that would impact the rest of us. And we don't want to get like other Caribbean islands where they ban drones and whatnot. Alright, until the next one, Trinbago Vibes. Rajiv, Agon, later.